You're listening to the Healthy in Real Life podcast, episode number 187. Hey friends, welcome back to the show. This is Gina, creator of the Fitnessista blog and brand. I'm so excited that you're here today. Thank you so much for listening and for being here today and for all of your amazing support with the podcast. The podcast is now on YouTube, so if you want to watch video episodes, you can head to youtube.com/fitnessista, so youtube.com/fitnessista, and you can watch the videos there as well. So if you're enjoying the show, if you wouldn't mind leaving that 5-star rating or review wherever you're listening today, it really helps with the visibility of the podcast. It helps me to continue to book these amazing guests that you hear each week, and I genuinely appreciate it so much. If you leave that rating or review wherever you're listening, you can head to fitnessista.com/podcast review, so fitnessista.com/podcast review, and I'll send you a copy of my Bar Blast workout for free. Just a little thank you from me to you. So today we have a hot health topic up on the podcast today, and we are talking about the keto and carnivore diet. So as you guys probably can guess, I'm not the biggest fan of this style of eating. And that's okay. I'm not going to ignore the fact or put my head in the sand and not acknowledge the fact that I know a lot of people use this and it works well for them. And at the end of the day, I'm all about doing what your body needs and ignoring the noise on social media, talking to your doctor, trying out different things. Bio-individuality is a real thing. So what works for some people might not work well for you or for someone else, and that's okay. And at the end of the day, I think we're all just trying our hardest to be our healthiest selves with the resources and information we have. So I'm not going to sit here and judge anyone for their choices. This isn't something that I would use personally. It's not something I would recommend for clients, but it's something that our guest today has seen tremendous success with, and he's seen incredible success with his own clients. So just going to put the information out there with you. I love to have different viewpoints and perspectives on the show. I don't want to live in an echo chamber where everyone just believes exactly the same way that I believe. I don't think that that's how we grow. I don't think that that's how we create empathy for other people. I like to hear about what everyone's doing. So I hope that even if you're a keto fan or not, that you enjoy this episode, because our guest today is amazing. He lives in Ireland. He has a super cool accent and a lot of amazing knowledge to share. So I'm so excited for today's episode. But before we dive into this, I wanted to tell you guys about IHP. So I've been an integrative health practitioner for a few years now, and it has completely changed my life. It's completely changed my business. So if you've ever felt called to dive deeper into the holistic health world, maybe not just for yourself, but to help others, I think that this is just such an incredible life-changing experience, and that is the Integrative Health Practitioner certification. So IHP is a comprehensive health coaching certification that teaches you how to uncover the root causes of health issues using functional lab testing, nutrition, detox, mindset, and lifestyle coaching. I went through both level 1 and level 2. I'm halfway through high performance health, and I'm halfway through level 3 right now. And it's really shifted how I work with clients, but it also gave me the tools that I used to heal myself when I was going through my own autoimmune issues, and also to support my own family at a much deeper level. So it covers everything from hormonal imbalances to gut health, mineral deficiencies, and toxins. It's all online. It's self-paced. It's so incredibly empowering. Whether you're already in the health space or if you want to pivot into something that's more aligned and fulfilling, IHP will equip you with real actionable tools to change lives, starting with your own, which I think is such a beautiful, empowering mission. So I'm going to drop the link in the show notes. If you're just feeling this whisper, this calling in your head, check it out. And you can use my discount code. It's Fitnessista, FITNESSISTA. And that's going to get you up to $250 off levels 1 and 2. I definitely recommend doing both. Level 1 is all of the foundation, and then level 2 is when you learn how to read, run, analyze the functional labs that have been such a game changer for me. So I hope you love it as much as I do. Dr. Cabral is just the best of the best, and I've really, really enjoyed this experience. All right, friends, so let's head into today's episode, and this is with Mark Ennis. So Mark Ennis is a health coach from Ireland, specializing in helping individuals achieve a longer, healthier life through the power of a carnivore and keto lifestyle. After struggling with both anorexia and obesity, Mark discovered the life-changing benefits of this approach and now dedicates himself to guiding others on their journey to health and happiness. Passionate about making a lasting impact, he empowers clients to overcome challenges, achieve their goals, and live their best lives. Mark's mission is to inspire positive change and share the knowledge that transformed his own life. So we're talking about his own health journey. I have questions for him about keto and how he approaches it with his clients. And he's just an amazing person with lots of great tips and insights for leading a happy, healthy life. I'm so glad that he's here today. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Welcome to the Healthy in Real Life podcast, bite-sized tips for healthy living that you can implement right now. Join us weekly for interviews and real-life advice for creating the happiest and healthiest version of yourself. Here's your host, fitness expert, author, and mom of two, Gina Harney.
Hey, Mark. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks very much, Gina, for having me on. Looking forward to it.
Yes, it's so nice to chat with you. And you're calling in all the way from Ireland. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, amazing. How long have you lived there?
Am I the first Irish person you ever spoke to?
Oh, what happened?
Am I the first Irish person you ever spoke to?
Probably so, yes.
I'm
Yeah,
honored.
my husband's family actually has a bar in Dublin.
Nice.
Yeah, but we haven't gone out there, so I would love to visit. It looks beautiful.
And where are you from?
Tucson, Arizona.
Nice. I say the weather's over there is lovely.
Yeah, it's a little hot, but it's good.
Yeah.
Yes. So would you mind just sharing some background info about yourself and what you do?
Okay, so I'm a carnivore coach now. I haven't always been this way. I was always one of those people that had an eating disorder when I was very, very young. I always struggled with my weight for years. At a very, very young age, I dealt with anorexia. I was also extremely obese when I was around 26, maybe 27. I've been working in the fitness industry now for over 25 years now. And yeah, I just came across Carnivore about 4 years ago, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm actually coaching Carnivore now.
Okay. And what benefits have you noticed since you switched over?
Incredible. Like, I've noticed unbelievable changes. Like, what it's done for me, what it's done for my life is absolutely incredible. I suffered with mental health issues. I suffered with like my weight all my life. I never had food freedom ever. I was always one of those people that was counting my calories all the time, whereas now I don't count any calories. I don't even count macros. I just I eat intuitively. I eat when I'm full. And that's it. And that's why I teach my clients at the moment. I work with an awful lot of women that have like food addiction, sugar addiction. They're getting ready to go down the surgery routes. They're getting ready to go on these GLP-1 injections. That's where I come in.
Okay, that's amazing. And have you noticed a difference between the benefits for men versus women? Because sometimes you hear about things like, oh, intermittent fasting is what you should do, but then you find out later it's like, oh, it's not as beneficial for women as it is for men.
Oh yeah, like men are a lot easier to work with, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Women are a lot more complicated, and hormones get into play, and it's amazing because I actually do a lot better working with women. I don't actually like working with men, to be honest.
Yes.
I just find it very, very easy to work with men. Men can lose weight very, very easy, whereas with women, it's mostly stress from when they're eating, over exercising. There's many, many factors that goes with women, and the reason why I resonate with this with women, because I done this myself. I see an awful lot of what I did over the years, the bad habits, and when I speak to a woman and she basically tells me what the story is and she's struggling, I can pinpoint exactly what the problem is straight away.
Okay, that's really interesting. So what does a typical day look like for you?
Eating wise,
Yeah.
I only eat 2 meals a day. So I'm
Okay.
2 meals a day. I'm up every morning at 3 a.m.
Okay.
And I have my first meal around 12 o'clock, which is basically I'll have around 10 eggs, and I'll have a ribeye, which is around 400 grams. I don't know what that is in pounds. Probably about a quarter of a pound, probably a little bit more. And I'll cook that in beef tallow, which is around 30 grams. And then on my second meal, I'll have around maybe 600 or 700 grams of ground beef. nearly a pound of ground beef, or I might have lamb. I might have a couple of eggs with that, a little bit of bacon, and again, I'll cook it in beef tallow, and that's it. That's all I have.
Okay, that's it. So do you do fruits or honey? Because I know some carnivore people like fruits and honey. No?
I haven't touched a carbohydrate or a sugar or a fiber or a plant in 4 years.
What? No way. And digestion is
Mhm.
still normal.
No issues whatsoever. My digestion is probably at peak. It's never been better.
Wow, that is crazy. Do you eat a lot of butter? Do you do butter or
Beef
no?
tallow. I have an allergy to I have an allergy to dairy, so I can't have any butter. I wish I could because I love butter.
Yeah.
But I'm hooked on beef tallow. But beef tallow and duck fat are my two main fat sources. But no, I don't have
Okay.
any issues going to the toilet. My gut is the best it's ever been. My energy is absolutely incredible. Yeah, haven't had a fiber, haven't had any grains or plants or anything like that in 4 years.
Yeah, that is so interesting. And when you said 10 eggs right away, I was like, oh my gosh, because eggs are so expensive here. So
Yeah.
I'm like, that would be very expensive. But we were just in Europe and like the groceries are much less there. So I'm like,
Mm.
I feel like it would be more feasible. But yeah, eggs are very
Well,
expensive.
it's the same here. To be fair, like the cost of living over here is getting very expensive. Like
Okay.
I would have been able to get like a tray of eggs, like 20 eggs, say 5 years ago for about €4, maybe
Mhm.
$5.
Yes.
You're looking at about probably double the price now.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. So it is a little bit more costly.
Mm.
So I know that you mentioned sugar and addiction. I feel like that's such a huge problem, especially in our society right now. How do you help people who are addicted to sugar and feel like they need to have it all the time? Just something sweet.
So first of all, I need to make sure that people are aware of it in the first place.
Yeah.
So when people come to me and they're like, I've done the diets, I've done them all. The one thing I struggled with was hunger. That's the key word there is hunger. I'm like, okay, this is the reason why you're addicted to food. You're addicted to sugar. So this is what we need to do. So no matter what diet you're doing, whether it's vegan, paleo, whatever it is, I think everybody will say the exact same thing. We need to eliminate the processed food. That's the first thing. All the starchy carbs, all the junk food, that needs to go. So that's the first protocol. The next thing I need to focus on, and I like people to give me the feedback. I never actually force this on people. Is I want to eliminate all carbohydrates, whether it's complex, natural, starchy, simple, whatever it is, fruits, vegetables. No, not the vegetables will be on the next phase, but it's all carbohydrates. So usually I get the feedback from them. They'll say to me like, listen, I don't think I need these. I'm feeling bloated. I don't feel good. And then I explain to them like your body can run off two energy sources. It can run off carbohydrates or it can run off fats. So I want to push them towards the fats because these people are inflamed, they're not feeling good, they have major gut issues, weight loss resistance, all that kind of stuff. So they're suffering big time. So I'm trying to transition them out of that as quick as possible. So I'm trying to get rid of that sugar addiction as quick as possible. So then once we get past that, the information I'm getting from people is, okay, I'm looking great, but I'm not feeling great. And I'm like, okay, let's look at the diet. You're eating primarily an animal-based diet, but you still have the vegetables in there. Maybe if we eliminate the vegetables, things might improve. Let's eliminate the vegetables for like 4 to 6 weeks. Within 1 week, they're getting back to me. Digestion's perfect. Everything's perfect. My brain fog is gone. My mental health issues are gone. Everything's perfect. So I'm like, okay, all we're going to do now is we're just going to run off a full animal-based diet, which is just going to be fats and proteins. And that's pretty much it. That's what we do.
Okay, that's really interesting. I don't know if you saw the picture going around, but it was of someone's like hands and they had all of these hard
I
masses
see in that,
from,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the yellow stuff on his hand, yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah, the
yeah, yeah.
yellow stuff
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they were eating like 2 sticks of butter a day, not
Yeah.
having,
And
yeah, it was
he was eating a lot of cheese as well. A lot of
yes,
cheese.
that was
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that that scared people away
Yeah.
a little bit. So,
See, a lot of people do it wrong. So many people make mistakes when they start doing it first. I hear all the time, I've tried carnivore, I was miserable doing it. And the minute I hear that, I'm like, okay, I need to have a conversation with you because I can pinpoint exactly where you went wrong.
okay.
Exactly. So you can always, once you get on the phone to them or you have a conversation with them, You dig deep into what they did, and you can easily find out what the problem is.
Okay, that's interesting. And it is a higher fat diet. So, what's your approach for those people who are afraid of eating higher fats because they think that it causes you to gain weight, which is not true, but I know that it's a fear that people have.
Nowhere near. Nowhere near. I mean, I have female clients. I think that none of my female clients are on less than 120 grams of fat a day.
Wow.
None of them.
Okay.
Okay, I'd say I think I have one female who's actually a bodybuilder. She's actually in a bulking phase at the moment, and she's on around 250 grams of fat a day.
That's crazy. So, what does a day look like for her? What is she eating?
So she would be in a lot of like keto bricks. Like the majority of our food would come from keto bricks. So it's just basically a little bit of whey protein mixed in with about probably 100 grams of fat, and she makes like a keto brick bar out of that. And she'll just have that with beef, again, steak, eggs, whatever she likes. But that's where she's getting mostly her fats in. I don't like getting people to have a lot of fat in the pan where they're drinking it. I would rather them just getting it from animal-based foods. I don't have anybody eating any avocados or anything like that. It's just all coming from animal-based foods.
Okay. Yeah, that's so interesting. What about those who want to go to a birthday party or celebrate and have some birthday cake? What do you say to those people?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a choice. I mean, I've done it myself. I've been doing this
Yeah.
now 4 years, and I've experimented on myself many, many times. I've added the foods back in, the foods that I used to enjoy. And I say to people, I actually encourage people to do this. I'm like, okay, don't go on this diet for the rest of your life. You need to experiment. The foods that I used to add back in, I could notice straight away the impact these foods were having on my body within seconds. Like I used to be hooked on soda drinks. I used to drink nearly 3 a day, and I added one in say about 8 months ago. Yeah, it was about 8 months ago, and I only had half of it. That's all I had, just half. The next day, I had a migraine for 8 hours,
Gosh.
non-stop. I was like, okay, that's that box ticked. No, I remember a year ago, I added in a bit of fruit. Just had a bit of blueberries, had a bit of a banana. It set me off. I was craving everything. The bit of sugar that came into the brain, was sending the signal to my brain saying, listen, okay, the sugar coming here, this is what we like. We want more of it. And my cravings got out of control. So I was like, okay, that's another box ticked. No, I'm not doing that again. So I've done so many experiments, and so have people who I work with. They'll introduce the alcohol back in, and straight away it messes up their gut microbiome. Straight away, they're like, okay, I don't like this feeling. I can feel the impact. I can feel the negative impact coming back again. And this is where you ask them the question: have you learned anything from this, or have you gained anything from this? And it's usually I've actually learned something from this. I don't think I want to do that again, because it's not just about adding these foods in. It's not going to impact your weight so much. It's going to impact your mental health pretty much. So it's got to be a more of a psychological damage than a physical damage from what you see on the outside. So I'm not really worried about how people look and the impact these foods are going to have on you weight wise. It's the psychological damage it's going to do to the brain. That's what I'm worried about.
Okay. Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on a longevity perspective, because you hear that these like high meat, high animal product diets are correlated with more like higher rates of all-cause mortality. Like with fruits and vegetables, they're so high in antioxidants and vitamins and minerals. And I think that meat is so nutrient dense. Like there are nutrients you can only get from meat. So I think that's so important. But what about skipping out on those other pieces?
There's no research to back this up. None. You
Okay.
can give me any study you want. My study and my data and my research is on people. That's all I need. I don't need
Yeah.
anybody to give me to read something and tell me that this, and this. It's all
Yeah.
science. It's all science based. Couldn't care less. I've worked with over 250 people now in 4 years. That's all the information that I need. That's all the data that I need. And these people are coming back to me. They're actually thriving. They're actually getting better in life. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, what other evidence do you need?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
it
it.
is interesting.
You're
I
getting
know.
you're getting everything. You're getting all the essential nutrients and minerals you need in meat. Like, what are you missing out on? You're getting everything you need. Like, put it this way: if I was on an island and I had to eat a plant or a meat for the rest of my life, I know which one I'm going after.
Totally.
That's it. Simple. It's that simple. So the way I see it is you're getting everything you need in like red meats, everything, every single mineral. You're not missing out on anything. You're not going to have scurvy. You're not going to have any uh, nutrition deficiency in vitamin C or anything like that whatsoever. You're going to get it all. Everything that you need, you get it. And all the rubbish that we hear on social media about red meat, that's all there is. It's just rubbish. I would say to these people, before you come out with this rubbish, have you actually tried it for at least 3 months?
Yeah.
And nobody has.
No, it's true. It's true. And I think that what you said is so true about how food makes you feel. Like if you have a bowl of ground beef, it's just so satisfying
Hmm.
and so delicious. It's like your body knows that that's what it
Hmm.
needs
Hmm.
right away.
Yeah, for me, like when I was eating a standard European diet or the American diet, I used to eat 9 times a day, like literally every 2 hours. And I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'd have to have a protein shake and a banana because I was that hungry. So for me, this is just for me, hunger was a massive, massive thing for me. It really was. I never got to a stage where I would eat a meal and I'd be stuffed. The only way that happened was when I added in a lot of vegetation, a lot of fiber, and I would be full, but my gut would be destroyed, absolutely destroyed. I'd walk around bloated. It would have an effect on my energy. I'd be breaking wind probably every 5 minutes. I'd be like, okay, this is not good. Okay, surely there has to be another way. There has to be another way. I can't live like this. I can't go out and just buy vegetables all the time to fill myself up. So I did this. I did this for a very, very long time, and I used to coach this to people. Like I've been coaching this now since I was like 22. And I used to tell people like, okay, be in a calorie deficit, go on a low fat diet, go on a high fiber diet. I used to teach all this. Stay away from fats. Fats are too high in calories. But the information I know now, compared to what I was told back then, and when I look back at it, I spent nearly 20 grand to learn this in school. 20 grand, waste of money, absolute waste of money. What we've been taught about nutrition to this day is wrong, in my opinion. It's false. The food pyramid should be the other way around.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, the food pyramid is the biggest joke ever.
Yes, great. How we're told that 60% of our overall diet should come from a macro that's non-essential. It's just it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, they want you to eat more processed foods though.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. So when you look at the food pyramid, they'll say carbohydrates, cereals, breads, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh my God. And then the next box is you have your grains, your fiber. These are not even nutrients.
Yeah.
It's not even a nutrient. So it's like no wonder the world is in the shit at the moment because we're focusing on the wrong problem. You walk into the shop, everything's marketed, low calorie, low fat, you know what I mean, low cholesterol. That's where we should be focusing on right there. Get our cholesterol levels up. That's how people are going to feel good. How is it that I'm working with a lot of people, their fats are really, really high, their LDL levels are too high, and they feel amazing. And this is what we've been told for years to avoid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting because hormones need cholesterol
Hmm.
and brain function also needs cholesterol. So I was hearing more recently about how statin drugs lower cholesterol, but they're also linked to Alzheimer's
Yes.
because it's inhibiting brain function.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
thought that was really interesting.
And isn't it amazing that when you look at these people and you ask them, are you healthy? And they'll say yes. And I'd say about 3/4 of them will say, I'm healthy, but I'm taking this medication. I'm healthy, but I'm taking this supplement. I'm like, well, you're obviously not that healthy then, are you? If you need a
Yeah.
supplement and you need a medication to help you with your health, something's wrong. Maybe the root of the issue still needs to be addressed. And that's where I focus on. I focus on, okay, what's causing the problems in the first place? Why are you struggling? That's what I want to know. I want to know why you're on these medications. I want to know why you have this sugar addiction. I want to know why you have this food addiction. I want to know why you can't sustain losing weight, because that's pretty much what a calorie deficit is. It's a form of restriction. They lose the weight, but then when they lose the weight, where do they go from there? They put the weight back on. So it's like you constantly see it, like people coming in around January time. They're like, okay, it's after Christmas. I'm going to go on these diets. I'm going on holiday in June. And then they go on their holidays in June. They don't address the main problem, which is the addiction part. So they go on holidays and they eat so much junk. They come back after holidays, that guilt kicks in, and then they start all over again. So that's why I like to eliminate the food addiction, like full stop, like get it out of the system as quick as possible.
That's really interesting. And then you don't have to think about it.
Exactly.
It's just autopilot.
Yeah, yeah.
So
What we
that
need,
makes
what we need to be doing is not looking at food as entertainment anymore. We need to just looking at food as just fuel. Food is just going to fuel my body to do what it's meant to do. That's it, to thrive. We don't need to look at our food and say, I need to have X, Y, and Z on my plate, which is what we were told years ago. I was always told this from my mother. You need to have like the color rainbow on your plate. You need to have your carbohydrates, all that kind of stuff. And that was the one thing I struggled with when I started carnivore. Just looking at your plate and you only have a piece of steak on it. That's all. And I was like, this is not going to fill me. This is definitely not going to fill me. But it's only when you start eating it, it's like, okay, now I'm getting full. Like, why am I getting full here? I've never experienced this. I'm actually enjoying this. I've never gotten to a stage in my life where I've eaten a meal and I ever said to myself, I'm full. I can hardly finish it. Never. I would always be one of those people. I would eat something and then have a snack after. If I'm in a restaurant, I'd have my dinner and I'd always want dessert after, even though I'm not hungry.
Yeah, that's interesting. Protein is so satiating. It's just so filling. So I think that totally makes sense. And I think for myself too, I always feel like I have to make a recipe. Like it always has to be like a meal, like a full recipe. But even this summer, it's been so busy. I've just been doing, and I know you probably wouldn't agree with this, but we just do like meat, some type of carb. So like a sweet potato or a potato. And then some type of vegetable.
Yeah.
And like this is so simple. It doesn't have to be this complicated.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. See, the problem is when you eat a lot of protein, you're not gonna get a lot of energy from eating protein. We only get energy from eating carbohydrates and fats. Now, if you're on a high protein diet, yes, you're gonna lose weight, but you're gonna feel miserable doing it. And this is where people go wrong. They eat a lot of protein, they eat a lot of fiber, and they're not getting any energy in whatsoever. If we're going to replace one energy source, which is going to be carbohydrates, you need to replace it with something else. Now, what's going to give you a better energy supply? Is it going to be carbohydrates or is it going to be fats? With carbohydrates, they run out very, very quickly. Your energy runs out very, very quickly, so you have to replenish. Whereas with fats, you can sustain that pretty much for the whole day. You can tap into your own body fat and use that as energy. That's what I do. So I have really, really busy days. I'm up at 3 a.m. every single morning without fail. And I'm not tired. And my day starts pretty much around 5 o'clock. I go to the gym, then I do my airings, I'll go for a walk, and then I'll start my work. I have a lot of check-ins in the morning. So I have a really, really busy work morning and every morning. And I'm constantly alert. I feel good. I'm not thinking about food. I don't have any brain fog. I'm mentally alert. I feel good, really, really good. And once my body shuts down, which is around 11 o'clock, half 11, when everything becomes calm, that's when my body tells me, okay, it's time to eat. That the stress levels are gone, everything feels nice, and I like to just sit down and relax. And that's the way we've always done it. When you think about our ancestors, that's what they did. They went out and hunted an animal. Then they all sat around the fire. They all relaxed, and then everybody ate. So that's how I approach it. So I'm never in a position where I'm in that fight or flight situation where I'm constantly thinking about food. I can get on my day easily, and I actually have clients now that are actually proving this. I have 2 clients at the moment that are marathon runners. That they do marathon. A lot of marathons at the moment, and all they do pretty much probably the night before is they eat an awful lot of fat, mainly cheese. They might have some butter, beef tallow, something like that. They'll eat a good bit of it. When they're running, they don't need the gels. They don't need to be having the gels every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes like everybody else is doing. They can run for probably about an hour and a half. And they're just drinking water and they're fine. They're absolutely fine. And then usually at the end, when these people are absolutely exhausted, they have no more energy left, they're like zombies. These people can easily go on and do another 16 miles, easily. You know what I mean? Because they're tapping into their own body fat as energy. It's incredible. And another example, I entered my first bodybuilding competition 4 years ago, first ever, and I never said I would do a bodybuilding competition doing the standard 6 meals a day. I always said that it wouldn't suit me because I would always be hungry. 4 years ago, I made the decision, I'm going to do this. I'm going to coach myself, and I'm going to do the whole thing carnivore, the whole thing. So literally before I got on stage, 85% of my overall food intake was coming from fats. Protein was very, very little. I was having maybe around 50 grams of protein at that time before I stepped on stage. And so if we're talking calories, let's say I was on 1,500 calories. I'd say 1,200 of those calories was coming from fats and 300 was coming from protein. When I stepped on stage, there was nothing wrong with me. I was mentally alert. I felt good. I had so much energy. Everything was really, really good. I was standing beside guys that were ready to faint.
Yes.
Ready to faint. And I was like, oh my God, all this just to win a trophy. You're destroying your health. I was in the best health possible. Like, I was talking to people backstage and they were telling me they were eliminating fish oil before they got on stage. I was like, oh my God, this is wrong. This is like, you don't understand that you're messing with your health here. And that's where I think people in the world are going wrong. We're focusing on weight, how we look, and we're not focusing on our health. And we'll do whatever it takes to look a certain way, but we're messing up our health. You only need to look at what we're doing with Ozempic at the moment. Like, nobody talks about muscle loss. Nobody talks about the effects these are going to have on the body. They don't care. As long as you look the part, that's all that matters. And it's the same when you look at a bodybuilder or an influencer on social media. You look at the bodies and you be like, oh, they have an amazing body. They must be healthy. Far from it.
No.
Far from it.
So true. So true. Like, seeing the females especially, I'm like, they probably don't have a cycle. I can see that their hair is thinning. They look really tired. They have bags under their eyes. But with the Ozempic thing too, the most recent side effect I'm hearing about is blindness.
Yes.
Which is terrifying. Yeah. Like, why would you put yourself through that with that type of risk? It's crazy.
I only had a podcast. I have my own podcast at the moment, and I was actually speaking to a woman who lives in America, and she went down the exact same route. She did everything with her weight. She developed pre-diabetes, and the doctor called her in and said, listen, we don't know what to do. We're going to put you on Ozempic. So she was like, okay, you guys are the experts. I'm going to listen to your advice. So the doctor said, right, you're going to be on Ozempic. That was fine. She went to collect it she went to the pharmacy to collect it straight away. And the doctor had put her on 0.25 milligrams or something like that it was. And she went up to the pharmacist, and the pharmacist actually said this to her. She said, are you sure you want to be taking this? And she was like, what do you mean? I said this. She was like, this is a very, very high dose. And she was like, yeah, well, that's what the doctor prescribed, so that's what I need to take. So she said, fine. So she went home. She did the injection. The next day, this is on my podcast, her eyesight was gone.
No.
Gone. She collapsed on the floor. Her heart had stopped. Okay, unbelievable. This is a 12-minute video on my podcast. This is an incredible story. I actually did reels out of this because I had to show people, okay, you need to listen to this. You need to listen to what this woman is saying. This woman almost died taking this injection. Okay, now to this day, that was 2 years ago. To this day, that doctor that prescribed that Ozempic to her is getting all these certificates in the hospital saying how amazing she is. It's like, it's incredible. But you almost killed this woman. And to make it even worse, this doctor is actually blaming her because he's actually saying to her, you're the one that wanted it.
Wow. That is crazy.
Unbelievable. And I hear the stories all the time. I hear that doctors are forcing this on you without any nutrition advice at all. You need to take this. This is going to change your life. It's honestly, it makes me so angry.
Same. No habit changes at all. No concern for the muscle wasting. Muscle is so important, especially as you age, and all of the side effects too. Like, I feel like we're just starting to see the fallout from all of this, but it's going to be monumental in a horrible
Yeah,
way.
like if you're losing muscle, that's going to have a direct impact on your hunger. So this is where we see people go wrong when they get older. They move away from that. They add the cardio in. I see people that are in their 50s, 60s running around. You can see the stress in their face. They don't want to do it. And I can guarantee it when they go home, they're raiding the fridge because they're increasing their hunger.
Yeah.
So it's like you're defeating the purpose. And what makes it even worse is when I see an obese person run. When I see an obese person running, I'm like, who is giving you this information?
Totally. Just walk. That's all you
Just
need to do.
walk, just walk. You can see the pain. You can see the stress in these people's faces. And I'd love to just walk up to them and just give them a hug and say, listen, stop. You don't need to do this. You really don't need to do this. Let's just go back to basics. Let's just focus on your needs. Let's just focus on movement throughout the day. That's all you need to do. Instead of parking too close to the shop, park a little bit further away from the shop. Instead of taking the elevator, take the stairs. Small steps. Let's look at your diet. Let's not eliminate everything at the beginning. Let's focus on, okay, where are you struggling? You're struggling with your hunger. Okay, let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can address that very, very quickly. We mightn't have to eliminate the carbohydrates at the very, very beginning. That's fine. But let's see what we can do probably in week 6, week 10, week 12. And then if things start improving, the feedback that I like to listen to people is when they say to me, I'm feeling really, really good. That's when I'm saying, okay, let's move you on to the next stage. Then we can put you into a gym. Then we can start giving you the harder exercise. But I don't like giving people exercise when the body is all messed up.
No.
We have to focus on getting your mindset right. We need to focus on your reason why. I don't care. Everybody will keep telling me I want to lose weight. Yeah, but I want to know the reason why you want to lose weight. I want to go deep into your reason why. Because once I find out what that reason why is, because I've had people crying in front of me when we get into that reason why. It could be for family, kids, whatever it is. That's when I'm like, okay, I found it. Now I know the real reason why you're doing this. And then when we have our check-ins on a week-to-week basis and they're self-doubting themselves, I'll bring this back up. I'll bring up their reason why. I'll be like, okay, remember what you're doing this for. You're not just doing this for weight loss reasons. You're doing this for this, this, and this. And then what it does, it does something to the brain. It switches it back on straight away, and then they're back on. So that's why I like to have this accountability with my clients. I like to have this intimate time, have these conversations, because I feel that this is where I don't like the apps sending people a nutrition plan and saying, okay, follow this app, and I won't speak to you ever again. No, I like to have these interactions with my people. I need to know this. My check-ins are like therapy. So you can see that they're basically at the very, very bottom. They've hit rock bottom, but they're gradually going in this direction. That's where I like to see. I like to see the transition from very, very start to what these people can do in say 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 12 months. That's what I like to see. And it's amazing because I've actually had 1 or 2 clients that were extremely obese, really, really obese, of confidence on the floor. They had no belief in themselves whatsoever. And these people have gotten to the top of the mountain. They've done photo shoots. They've stepped on stage. Like, incredible transformation. And when you look back at it, it's just like, I feel damn proud that I was able to, that I was have to have some small say in this.
That's incredible. And I love that you mentioned the importance of having a strong why, because that's what's going to keep you going. Like, aesthetic goals are only going to get you so far, but having a really deep driving purpose behind why you're going after these
100%.
goals, that's what will keep you going on the hard days.
100%. 100%. You have to have something in the background what you want to look forward to. It could be like putting a dress on your press and looking at her every day. It could be anything. But you need to have something that you know that you want to achieve. You have to have a vision in front of you. What do you want to achieve in 3 months, 6 months to a year's time? You know what I mean? And then when you do achieve that, what are we going to do next? So that's why a lot of people will lose the weight and they don't know where to go from there. People have never heard of a reverse diet. They've never heard, okay, I'm coming out of the diet. And that's what we need to be focusing on as well. You can't just lose the weight and then, okay, I've achieved my goal and now I'm just going to eat crap and then put the weight back on. No, we need to build the metabolism back up again. Give your body the food it needs. When you start adding more muscle to your frame, we add more food in. So you don't need to diet again. So it's like you're looking forward, you're not looking back anymore. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's such a smart way to approach it. So the title of the podcast is Healthy in Real Life. What's something that you do in your own routine to create a consistent, sustainable, healthy lifestyle for yourself?
For myself,
Yes.
it's just routine pretty much. I strive on just doing the same thing every day. That's it. Routine for me is key. Movement for me is key. Keeping my brain healthy, that's absolutely essential for me. I just find that the more busy I am, the more I don't need to think about anything negative. Negative energy around me is not good. I like to have good positive energy around me. So yeah, I think routine is paramount for me.
Yes, I love that. I think that's so important. And just having these boxes you check each day and just know this is how the day is going to go. I think it takes away that decision energy that you need to make. So
Yeah.
it's like you're making less decisions when you just have a routine that you
And,
stick
and and
to.
when you look at the whole circadian rhythm kind of thing, like my body knows exactly what time it is. I don't need to look at the clock. I know, like my body just wakes up naturally at 3 a.m. I don't need an alarm. My body tells me, okay, it's 9 o'clock, I need to go to bed. And that's routine for me. That's your body's telling you, okay, you're in a routine now, which is working. You're feeling good. You're in the best health possible. Why would you jeopardize that? Just keep it the way it is. And that's what I do. So I base my whole life on routine. That's it. If I'm out of routine, I know it's going to mess up my digestion. It's going to mess up my mental health. And I'm not going down that route ever again.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's so powerful and just such an easy thing. You can assess your own routine and just see what things are working for you and just make sure to hit those boxes
What about you?
each day. For myself, I would just say walking as much as I can. I sit a lot during the day when I'm like writing or doing podcast interviews. So I have my little walking pad. So I'll get on my walking pad throughout the day, or I'll take the dog for a walk. I think it feels good to walk. We were recently in Spain for like 4 weeks and we walked so much. So I miss that. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to replicate it a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
since we've been back.
And it's
Yeah, since we walked.
it's amazing because you actually think better when you move more, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where I feel I need to have that little bit of self-love first thing in the morning. I need to be, instead of scrolling on my phone, having the blue light in my eyes, I like to just get up, do a little bit of meditation and just go for a walk. Listen to it like an interesting podcast and learn. You know what I mean? And then when I get back, then I'm ready to deal with the big bad world as you speak and get things moving. I'll make sure that I'm looked after. I've done my walk. I've done my gym. I've looked after everybody else. The home is clean. Just the bare essentials in life. And that way, then I know then I'm ready to deal with whatever comes to me in the afternoon, whatever, because I'm mentally ready for it. Whereas when people get up in the morning, you can see that they're jumping up out of bed, they're moving around, they have the kids. It's just all stress. It's all stress everywhere. And it's like, how can we actually eliminate this? And I say to people, okay, what about if you just give yourself that little bit of time to wake up a little bit an hour later? Or sorry, an hour before. Just go for a walk and prepare yourself for when the kids wake up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That for me is very, very important. If I had a home where I had a few kids and there was too much stress, I would need that bit of time to myself first thing in the morning, so I'm ready for what's to come in the afternoon.
Yeah. And you know you took that time for yourself, because I feel like as the day goes on, it's a little bit harder to find pockets of time. So when you wake up and do it, it's done.
And you're going to be a better person for it.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So that's basically how I live my life. Anything that's negative around me, any negative energy around me, whether it's on social media, friends, talking to people, I just eliminate it straight away. I've no time for it. Negative energy for me has an impact on me big time. And I don't want to be around it. I'd rather be around people that are educational, that are doing well in their life, and I like to feed off that.
Yes,
And
I love that. I agree more.
and in my country, like, I can't have that because nobody talks about carnivore over here. Nobody talks about keto. Everybody is just like, okay, you need to have your carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are your main source of energy, all this. And I'm like, I'm not getting involved in that because, like, that's okay. If it works for you, and that's one thing I want to say first of all is before we leave. What I do, I'm not saying it's absolutely perfect. I'm not saying it suits everybody. If you're on a diet at the moment and it works for you, and you're getting amazing results from it, and you have no issues with your health, then keep doing it. That's it. Just keep doing it. You're doing amazing. Don't let anybody else tell you differently. Don't let me or anybody else tell you differently. But if you feel like you're on a diet at the moment and you just feel like, you know what, something's not right. I don't know why I have these regular cravings. I don't know why I have these hunger issues. I don't know why I have these digestive issues. I don't know why I'm suffering with my mental health. I don't know why I'm getting these regular injuries when I'm going to the gym. I don't know why I'm getting back pain, gout pain, all this kind of stuff. Then this is where I need to focus on the diet. I'm like, okay, there's something in the diet that's not working. And there's a reason why your eating healthy is not working.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that because there's so many different strategies out there. There's a lot of noise, and it really is about finding what works best for you and your life and your body and what makes you feel great. So thank you for mentioning that too. And thank you for sharing all of your tips and wisdom with us today. Where can everyone find you if they want to connect with you and learn more?
Amazing. Well, Gina, thanks very much for having me on. I really appreciate it. So I'm on Instagram at fitnessbeyondtime01. I also do a little bit on TikTok, not much, but I'm also over there as well at fitnessbeyondtime01. I also have my own website. I'm on 2 podcasts at the moment. I have my own podcast at the Carnivore Evolution. And I also do another podcast with 2 other guys, Peter and I can't remember his name now. What's his name? Well, I'll go back to that in a few minutes. But it's called the Meat of the Matter podcast, and we do that live. We do a live Q&A every Sunday.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll include links to all of those so you guys can find Mark and connect with him, check out his website, check out his podcast. Thank you again so much for being here today.
Amazing, Gina. Thanks very much for having me on.
Thanks for listening to the Healthy in Real Life podcast. For more info, check out Gina's blog at fitnessista.com.